Yo, welcome to the entertainment headquarters and welcome to another retro classic movie show. And of course, this is a franchise special. And the franchise we have to talk about is one that for me is one of the best buddy cop series ever made. It's a series I really enjoy. Of course, we're talking about Lethal Weapon. But to talk about Lethal Weapon, of course, I had to have a host of amazing guests. First and foremost, we have my co-host, Mr. DJ Anubis of the Metal Tavern Radio. And there we go. We also have Mr. Anthony Jordan of Anthony Jordan's Movies and Gaming. And of course, Mr. Jedi Granville from Mr. Jedi Granville Productions. And then finally, from the Sci-Fi Society, Mr. Sci-Fi Society himself. Welcome. And this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping this is going to be a lot of fun because I haven't seen these films for quite some time, so it was a real blast going through them again after such a long time. But before we get into it, let's see who's joining you in chat. We have Mr. Jake Hall.
Oh,
Jake.
Yes.
Mr. PG.
We also have Mr. Big Bad Wolf.
Yes.
Johnny Coon. What's up, Johnny Coon?
Yeah. I don't get it.
Yes.
He was applying to the your diplomatic immunity.
Okay, but that's in 2. Sorry.
Well, didn't you quote it though?
Yeah, I did, and it was in number 2.
Right.
You saying if it's 3, it's like that's not the one.
No, I think he was going from that one to the I'm too old for this shit and something else.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. Get the fuck out, Sci-Fi Chan.
So,
Sci-Fi Chan.
Johnny Coon. That's Big Bad Wolf's new name. That's his new name. Johnny Coon.
Johnny Coon.
Yes.
Formerly Little Wolf.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Is he baby shit wolf now?
Is he even a wolf? That's what I was.
I'm sorry. That was
evil one.
But
okay. I'll ask the question that we'll ask every time we do these. The first time you've seen Lethal Weapon. So, Mr. DJ Anubis, would you like to get us started?
Yeah, I didn't see this in the theaters, but I did see it on VHS when it came out and really liked it. I'll get into the second one when we get there, but the second one really kind of like blew the doors off in terms of my fandom of the series. But after rewatching these, I am convinced, and I will die on this hill, Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie. It is a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Well,
I never would have thought about it at first. By rewatching it, dude, they reference Christmas a lot.
Yep, she did.
And Riggs, he's basically a Ebenezer archetype in the film.
It does.
That's kind of true.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it starts at Christmas, it ends where he ends up, going for Christmas dinner. So if that doesn't spell Christmas, I don't know what does. Yeah. Anthony Jordan, your first time seeing Lethal Weapon?
Around 8, 9, or 10, somewhere around there. We had the first 2 on VHS, and I watched them many a times. We didn't have the third one. I didn't get to see that till cable many years later.
Yeah. Mm. Jedi Granville.
Well, I actually had the good fortune of seeing this film in its original run back in '87. You know, I mean, it was something different, something new. You know, it was part of. It's funny. This film came out around a time where there was a whole lot of action films that were coming out around this time, especially in '87. You had RoboCop, Beverly Hills Cop 2. Trying to think what was another one, but there were fairly many of them, and I just happened to go see it that one was a Saturday. It was a Saturday, and I mean, I was totally taken aback by it. You know, it was something different because it wasn't something that I would expect it to be what it is. You know, it's a very character-driven movie. You know.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. Sci-fi Century.
Probably around 9 or 10. That's when I first saw it, and I remember that because what I didn't remember about watching the first one was holiday boobies in the beginning of the movie where homegirl is out there, and I'm like, I totally did not remember that, and I was like, holy shit. So then when I saw that, I was like, I remember I saw when I was 9 or 10 because I remember we were watching it, and my parents right away told me to go to my room because that was a part that she showed up. She showed up.
And hats off to Jackie, man. She actually did that stunt, falling from that building.
Yes, she actually did. Yes.
So yeah, that's the first time I watched it. That was the very first time. And then the others, part 2, like I said, I gotta agree with Anubis. That one is one of my favorite ones.
Oh, yeah.
But that one, I watched that one probably like when I was about in middle school. But 3 and 4, I watched a little later down the line. But the first one is the first one. The first and second one, for me, are my top films.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I might surprise you with that one.
Really?
Yes. But as for me, I cannot remember when I first seen like what year it was, but it must have been sometime in the 90s. I think it was probably. I probably got interested in the film series when I think around the time the third one was coming out, because there was a lot of buzz about it and a lot of people talked about how amazing the series was, and obviously I don't think I'd seen them before, so then obviously I rented the first one and the second one and immediately understood why these films are so popular. And I think that the thing that works and the magic of this film and these films in total, it has to be the chemistry between Mel Gibson and Danny Glover.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the chemistry between them two, and also the script writers, the one-liners, just everything that's put in this. And of course, the amazing director who directed all 4 films. Yes. He literally has made these films what they are. And I think anybody who wants to study action or action comedy really needs to study his work.
Yeah, because he's a very underrated director. I mean, he's got a lot of clout, but I feel he doesn't really get the kudos that he deserves. I mean, he does, but I mean, I think what it is, I'm thinking on terms of awards, but I think his real reward is knowing that people remember his work, whether it be the original Superman film or these films or other types of films he's been involved with.
In the films too, like the films, like I said, I mentioned in a comment, like they're pure, like late 80s, 90s, like retro style of the time, man. Like literal period pieces, but buddy cop style, and like everything. When I saw the first and the second one, the first one and second one, I saw like, holy shit! I remember when they had phrases. I remember those phrases, a lot of those phrases that they said in the film when I was young. It was like, oh, they used to say, oh yeah, that's hip, and oh yeah, that's this. And I'm like, oh shit, like I don't like. It's I rewatching them was like, wow, it's like just nostalgia. For me, it was just pure nostalgia.
Yes. So, Lethal Weapon is a 1987 American buddy cop action thriller film directed by Richard Donner and written by Shane Black. Now that surprised me. I didn't even know he was involved in these because, like I say, I hadn't watched these in a while. And I knew Richard Donner was the director, but I never really looked into who wrote the movie. So the fact to see it's Shane Black, that makes sense as well, because we've seen like his track record of the films he likes to make. It stars Mel Gibson and Danny Glover alongside Gary Busey, Tom Atkins, Darlene Love, and Mitchell Ryan. And the plot synopsis is as followed. Two newly paired cops who are complete opposites must put aside their differences in order to catch a gang of drug smugglers. So that is how this film goes. Now, we'll start with Mr. Walter Ross. So would you like to talk a little bit about like the movie itself and
I mean,
all of that jazz?
Do you want to go as far as story or just anecdotes as far as that goes? I mean, I don't know what you want to kind of spit here as far as that goes.
You can spit what you like, just not in my face.
Okay. Well, I can't make no promises about that. Well, you did mention Shane Black. The one thing about, and this is the thing about him, this was his first official screenplay turned into a film. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you notice through all his films, most of his films, you always notice that his films are set at Christmas. I don't know if you noticed that. The third Iron Man film set at Christmas. Long Kiss Goodnight set at Christmas. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Oh yes. What was that one film with? Oh God, I can't remember. It was with Ryan Gosling and Homeboy. It was set at the God dog it. I can't remember the name of the fucking film. It was another Joe Silver production. Shit. Damn it. Well, anyway, it was set at Christmas too. So, but anyway, the bottom line is this is his first official film that was turned into a script. And like I say, as Sci-Fi mentions, this film takes place at Christmas, and we're introduced, to just fly around Los Angeles, and we zoom into this one particular building, which I love about this film. Everything is done practically. It's not done with no digital, no special effects. This is all done practically with, stunts, camera work and all that stuff. We circle into this particular apartment, and we zoom into this one girl who's lying there, chesticles out and everything, and
boobies.
Yes, thank you, boobies. Very nice boobies, I must say.
Titty bang bang.
Titty bang bang. Yes, and that was the other film.
This is the moment that Kevin turned away, of course.
Yes, I mean, I figured he would. But as we noticed, and this
I seen that fall. I seen that fall.
He was rooting for it. He's like, yeah, bitch, go down.
Oh, God. But did you know that? The girl who's doing the thing in there, she did her own stunt as the Sci-Fi did. She actually landed on it wasn't on a car. She actually landed on a painted version of the background where the car is. She actually did that stunt herself, surprisingly. But
a question: is she an actual stunt woman, or she was just?
No, she's not an actual stunt woman. But the people who are stunt people who perform, they actually kind of trained her in order to.
Yeah, there was like a real famous stunt guy that trained her to do that.
Mm-hmm. So, but the thing about it, well, getting back to the story too, is that while this is we see, and this is that's what I wanted to bring up before we start talking about the titties. The music for this film really generates a feel for this movie and the series itself.
Didn't Michael Kamen do
Michael Kamen, Eric Clapton, and David Sanborn? They were the composers for this film, but mostly
Alden.
What's up, Alden? How you feeling?
that soft jazz would kind of go on to be a theme throughout all the movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it harkens to the characters, you know. And that's what I love about it. Go ahead.
That's what I like about this. I like just the soft undertone of jazz music. Like I like when it got serious and it got dark, like when obviously
that orchestral music builds up to that.
Yeah. Like when something really dark or sad happens, there's like that. It's either silent, and then it'll cut to like a very emotional jazz piece.
Because that's what they do in the opening of the film. Is you hear that kind of dark, ominous feel, and like I say, with this character here, when we were introduced, which is Amanda Hunsaker, we don't really know who she is, but that's her name. She's we see her taking drugs, we see her sniffing, and for some reason she gets on the balcony and she, whatever reason, she just plummets to her death. And well, we don't really know what's going on. We just know that someone just committed suicide. At least we think it's suicide. She falls, and here we're gradually introduced to the characters of our film, or to the whole series, which makes this film or series such a dynamic thing. We're introduced to, Roger. I can't see his last name. What is wrong with me, man?
Martin Riggs and Roger Murtaugh.
Oh God! See, I'm having a brain fart right now, dude. This is fucking stupid. We're introduced to him and his family, which I have to say, that's the great thing about this first film, the family dynamic that you don't normally see. And like I say, this is late 80s. You figure like we want to see some cops shoot them up kind of thing going on. We really see the kind of buildup of showing characters with the other characters that interact with them. And we see that Murtaugh is just turning 50. He looks like a little older 50, but I mean, he's 50. And this is played by, of course, Danny Glover. And believe it or not, he was not even 50. He was like 40
years old.
40 years old.
Yeah.
He was a young man, So, I mean, compared to us, me and the Anubis,
even the daughter, Rihanna, like she was older. The actress was older than the girl she was playing.
Right.
Yeah, damn, I couldn't even tell. I thought she looked like she was. She looked like she was a teen. I thought she was at least like at 18 or 16.
Yeah, that's good casting.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, like, I mean, because like I said, I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen it in a while, so I was just like, I mean, Danny Glover looked good, man. I was like, shit. I was like, and it's funny how The Predator 2 was made a few years after he did Part 3, or was it?
Yeah. No, Part 2.
Part 2. Yeah.
Okay. Just reference. Go ahead. Continue.
No, but I mean, but just to kind of sum it up, it's we're introduced to that character, and we're seeing that he's turning. The day is his birthday around this time, Christmas time, and he's like anybody who turns 50. I don't know how you felt about the news, but it didn't really affect me that much. But for him, I guess because he's a cop, he's got family, and I guess he's just like, he looks in the mirror kind of slightly and just kind of like, wow, I'm really old here, but he's only 50, so it's like, dude, you haven't really, you haven't really done anything, I mean, you've done a lot. You've been and that's another thing. He's a Vietnam vet, so he's seen some shit. So, but cut to another character, which is Martin Riggs, Mr. Mel Gibson. And let's just say that, dude, yes, Mel. Let's just say that his character is one of those eccentric characters that I just didn't expect to see him as, out there when you see him. I mean, because he just randomly in there. Handsome, two handsome dudes there. Too bad I'm not gay, but anyway. Anyway, we introduce these characters, and we see their home life. We see one is pretty much got his domestic situation pretty well in Dow, where the other one is kind of like, he's going through some stuff. And I gotta point this out. There is not so much a deleted scene, but it's in the director's cut where we're introduced, where we show how Riggs' prowess as a police officer is so intact that he's called to and he's gone. He's called to a sniper situation where this guy is shooting everybody, and we don't realize at the time that Riggs has got a death wish, because he lost his wife some time ago. We don't know how long ago. It might have been like 4 or 5 years ago. So we don't really know.
Actually, it was 2 years prior to this movie.
2 years prior. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's still going through it, and I guess it's still affecting him some kind of way. So when he gets called to this particular area, he feel like, okay, SWAT's going to come. He's going to do whatever he's got to do, so he's not going to worry about it. But when he gets there, he sees that a kid's been shot, and he's like, I can't just walk away and not do something. So he goes up thinking like, okay, he might get killed, but he's going to take this guy out. And when he does take this guy out, he pretty much said, I'm still air, asshole, or do you still like, you do like just like shooting kids? And the guy comes out, and that was this dumb move right there coming out. He just lows on this guy, And like I say, this is in the director's cut. When he does this,
can I just add? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was going to add. Can I add, man, that I forgot about that because I originally had on VHS. I have the VHS, the theatrical, but I recently bought a while back, like months ago. I bought the director's cut. I had never seen that. I never seen a director's cut. And when I saw that, the guy that was shooting those kids with that assault rifle, I was like, dude, like he wasn't even moving. Like he wasn't, when Riggs wasn't even moving, dude. Like he's moving into the line of fire, and he's like, and he noticed the guy is not a good shot. He's just he's shooting, and then he's still walking, still up, and that's when he tells him, "I'm still here, asshole," whatever. And he waits for him to come out, and he shoots him with that Beretta. And I was like, dude, I'd never seen that. I had never seen that the director's cut at all. And also going back to what you were saying, I just want to go back to when he saw his situation where he's freaking butt naked, living in a mobile home or whatever, dude. Like I was like, holy shit. Like I honestly, dude, as a single person, young, I wouldn't mind living in a fucking mobile home like that, dude. Like the way it was laid out, I would be like, you know what, save money. It's got a retro feel to it, and it's like I said, like the whole nostalgia part of it. But going back to where he was getting shot, like where he was shooting the guy, like, and then he just walks away like nothing, starts lighting up a smoke and throws it away. He's just like, fuck. He's literally looking and saying like, damn, he didn't fucking kill me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, anyways, I'm sorry about that.
But no, that's good you add that because it shows his mentality, and you see when he walks away, here comes SWAT coming up. It's like, wow, guys, y'all timing is really sucky right now, so, but like I say, those little added those little added scenes, just adds to the character of Riggs,
Yeah.
And it just shows that his whole MO is like, if I get killed doing the job, so be it, because I'd rather do something that actually helps individuals than just say, oh, I'm going to blow my head off, because that's like, we don't need that, because we see later on, after he's done this drug bust with these guys, he's trying to, arrest them, get them busted and everything. We cut to where he's back in his trailer and he's watching Looney Tunes. He's doing all this stuff, but he's got a hollow point bullet and he puts it into, and I'm kind of thinking, what's going on here? And because I really don't understand what's going on. So you see that he's looking at a picture, which apparently is his wife, which it is. And he's put the bullet in the gun into the chamber. And dude, I got to say, this was an intense moment looking at this because that's a real, when I say that's a real gun, it's got no bullet. I'm pretty sure it has no bullets in there or anything like that. But dude, when he does this, and I love how Mel does this, he puts it up to his head, he's just like, I gotta do this, it's like, and then he pulls a hammer back and puts it in his mouth. I'm like, man, this dude is like, what is his problem?
That's when Murtaugh was like trying to test him to see if he was just trying to get that mental pension.
Pension.
And he's like, yeah, just do the head. Yeah, do that. I mean, dude, that scene was nuts. That scene is nuts.
It's crazy that we don't really know. I mean, we know that he's on the
edge.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, like, I've always thought Mel Gibson is, like, a fairly good actor. Yes. But I generally feel when I seen this particular scene and I seen what he was going through, I generally seen a side of Mel Gibson as an actor that really made me appreciate him more. Like I had seen him when I was younger in a handful of movies, and they were always like action movies or, you know, like the Mad Max movies. He's pretty good in them. But this was like the first film that really stood out to me outside of Mad Max, where in this particular moment, I seen another side of him as an actor that he could be. He could do drama. He could, you know, do intenseness, and it really showed me another side of Mel Gibson I didn't know he had as an actor. And I really, you know, because you can see he's in a lot of pain, you know, like you say, you've got Riggs and Murtaugh, and one's a happy family man who's close at the retirement, who basically lives down the straight line, just does his job, looks after his family. The other one's kind of like a wrecking ball. He's kind of, you know, a loose cannon, and the total opposites. But then when you're first introduced to him, you think, oh, he's just this reckless cop. But then when you see this scene, you see this side of him, and you see like the torture that he's putting himself through on the other side of a door, that a closed door, and it really makes you feel for him.
What I like about Donner is each movie, like from this starting point of Lethal Weapon all the way to 4, you see the arc of Riggs, and like even that final scene pretty much close to the end of 4 where he's at the graveyard and Leo's there. Like that's a very impactful scene as well. So I just love the arc that Martin Riggs has throughout this entire franchise.
And can I just add to that, news is that scene with him and Getz at his wife's grave. I got choked up watching that part. You know, I mean, I'm really, because he's telling this story to him to let him know it's like maybe you should learn to move on and learn to accept the things in the now. You know, I mean, yes, your wife is gone, but maybe there's something else to brighten your future. You know, so I was like, yeah.
See, and I was going to add too that when he's already got another, you know, he's already attempting, he wants to attempt suicide, like the tears that come out, the emotion, man, like the freaking, like the anger, the freaking, just the rage of being alive, and the fact that she's gone and he's alive. It's like, and then he's but see, the funny thing is he always stops himself, because he says there has to be a reason why I'm still alive. There has to be a reason why I keep going. Because the part where he starts crying, bro, I was like, I forget it, I remember it, but I was like, fuck, like he put so much, like what Kevin was saying, he put so much of like emotion, and it's hard to do that as an actor. It's fucking hard to do that, especially him being so green. Well, not green, but I'm saying like he was already pretty much known for doing like just like tough guy, very stoic, very robotic in a way. And he did that, but he when he did that scene, I was like, dude, this movie's gonna be good. Like when I saw it again, it's like, I love this movie before, but now I'm gonna like it even more and appreciate it, because he put so much emotion and rage and anger and sadness and despair into that scene. Okay, sorry.
Well, I think Donner or Kevin said it right about Donner, is that because going back and rewatching all these, like Kevin's right, like he has a knack for intertwining like comedy, action, drama. It's so well done, and it flows. It's not like there's no like hiccups or any kind of weird awkwardness. It's all consistent, and it's very nice, and it flows.
You often find with movies, when you see reviews, even a movie that gets good reviews, you always see a critic say, well, the action's great, the special effects are great, but there's no emotion, there's no connection. Or they'll say the characters are great, there's chemistry there, but the plot sucks. You know, where Richard Donner literally has a great way of putting everything into the movie with an equal balance. He knows when to hit the one-liners with the comedy. He knows when to be serious and dramatic, and he knows when to go balls to the wall with the action. And I think it's a perfect mix in these particular films of having all of that, but what makes it work even stronger is the fact that he's got Danny Glover and Mel Gibson as his leads, and the chemistry's just outstanding. And then in the third one, when they introduce Joe Pesci's character,
Actually,
the second one, when they introduced his character, he just adds to the comedicness. But when it's serious, so it all worked. And that's why I think these films are so rememberable. It's like you often get like films coming out, like I said before, where they talk about the film and they go, all right, the plot was amazing. The effects were amazing. The story was great. But guess what? The leads are chalk and cheese. They've got no chemistry. I didn't believe in the characters because the cast weren't great. It's the characters, where you don't ever hear a single negative about these particular movies because everything just works so well.
And this wasn't, and this is the interesting thing. Mel Gibson was not the first choice, nor was Danny Glover the first choice for the characters they were playing. I don't know if you know this. I mean, Danny Glover, I'm think who was originally supposed to. No, in fact, it was, they didn't even say they were going to have a black person in. They just said, well, it's just some random, but someone suggested Danny Glover. And in the script, they didn't say this was a black dude. It was just saying it's like this some random individual who's very, to the balls, to the letter of doing his job. And they said, well, someone suggested, just let's get Danny Glover. He might play a pretty good role with this. And as far as Mel Gibson, no one, I mean, he was still kind of, as to say, blue in the terms of,
he had just done Road Warrior. Like when he did Lethal Weapon, I didn't even think twice too much about it. I was like, okay, that's cool because I remember him from Road Warrior. But like as Kevin had pointed out, Mel is like totally different with his character in this. Like so, just up, crazy. Yeah. But the other thing I found interesting was I love Gary Busey and I thought he did a great job as Joshua. But when I read that like other people like William Dafoe would have wanted to audition for that role, I would have loved to see Dafoe in that character.
Yeah. Like I love myself some Gary Busey, but I think this is one of his weakest performances. Because as much as I like him, I believe I like Gary Busey where he's like more like out there. Where this he's trying to play it safe,
like Point Break and stuff like that. But I think his character was meant to be kind of stoic. So he really wasn't like to have a lot of
But he wasn't. At least nothing in the films and the majority of the franchise. Nothing was oversaturated. The what do you call it? The comic relief wasn't oversaturated. The drama wasn't oversaturated. The plot of the movie was balanced. So everything was balanced, and it wasn't like if nothing was really like I said oversaturated. Yeah. Gary Busey too. I would have loved the Dafoe dude, but Gary Busey just had that. He was made for that role too. I don't know, just my opinion.
I thought you did fine. I didn't think it was bad.
No,
going back to what I was saying about. Well, I don't think he's terrible. I think he did a great job. But I feel as if it's just not one of his strongest roles or his most memorable role.
Yeah.
Kind of like what he did in Under Siege too.
He's still good in it.
He was great at Under Siege too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like he maybe you guys think they should have used him more, or he should have been in the movie more?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is difficult.
He should have been used more. He should.
When you think of all the mercenaries that he was a part of, like they all kind of were just stoic and like there was no like real person that stood out, and that was I think Joshua should have stood out more. So I think they should have did more with his character than what they did. I think they kind of let him down in that regard.
Oh yeah,
that's a good
absolutely.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like I say, the movie is like I say, it's like I say, really, this is it is an action picture. It is that. But at the center of this film is these two characters, and I think we can automatically say this film has heart. It's one of the reasons why it works so well. I mean, yes, you got your amazing stunt work, you got some amazing action, and the music really kicks in when it needs to. But let's be honest. I mean, the scene that really got me the most, and I think it really gels together where we see these people. I mean, these people really unite together, is where they go to this one house where they find out about Amanda Hunsacker's killer or whoever. They got a lead, and when homeboy shoots at them, and he tells Riggs to put the cuffs on him and everything, and homeboy has a gun, and it's like he's got a gun, and he's about to shoot Murtaugh, and Riggs automatically just without a doubt just shoots him. It's like, and Murtaugh's kind of like, dude, it's like they jump into the water, try to save him, but it's like he's already dead. And as Murtaugh says, like, did you ever meet somebody you didn't kill? And Riggs replies, well, I haven't killed you yet. Well, don't do me no favors. Now that's just a banter between them. But when they get dried up and the forensic playbook on, Murtaugh takes the time to really say, I'm sorry about all that shit I said to you earlier. And he says, like, you saved my life. I'm sorry about that. And he's like, and Riggs is like, well, I bet that was hard to say. He said, you'll never know. And that lets you know that these two are really starting to vibe together. And then they really vibe even more when we see him go to Murtaugh's house for dinner. He interacts with his family. And, it's like, this is the kind of dynamic that you don't see in a lot of action pictures. You don't see this kind of, especially with cop films, you don't see this amount of, relations in terms of saying interaction with the wife, interaction with the kids, and seeing how these two cops just join together, and then they're talking and just doing the rambling and everything. And I'm kind of wondering, could this been something that influenced Quentin Tarantino with Pulp Fiction when the two characters at the beginning, not in the diner, but with Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta's character, when they're just rambling, just doing the banter, because these two do this when they're on the boat. They're talking, they're talking about just things in general, but they're talking about the case and everything. And it's just like, this is not something. And I was 17 when I saw this, and I'm expecting a whole lot of blow them up, shoot them up, all kind of stuff. But I'm kind of sitting there and just like, this is a very different take on cop films. This is a different take on action pictures. It's just like, and they let me know right then and there that this is not your typical action picture. This is something where it's saying like, hey, focus on the characters, and you'll be drawn into what the action's going to come to, because you want to.
And it's interesting too to see that Tom Atkins, who's usually known for a lot of the horror films, was actually in this film too, which is kind of cool.
I like that. Yeah. So it's crazy how, like I say, and that's why I say when you see them after the interaction, and then when he's about to leave, he tells him about him being in Vietnam and he was able to shoot somebody from 1,000 yards. That's him opening up to Murtaugh and letting him know it's like, that was the only thing I was ever good at. And when he asked Riggs, he's like, you really like my wife's cooking? He's like, no. And it lets you know that these two are becoming one as terms of, like, say, we are really not just friends, not just just buddies, not just whatever. We're becoming like friends, almost brothers, and
that's how you know, Walt. Like, that's how Murtaugh realized that Riggs was real, because he, I think. Murtaugh was thinking when he asked Riggs, like, did you really like my wife's cooking? He's like, no. That's when I think, to me, that's when like, okay, Riggs is being real. He's being honest, not being. He's being like, you could tell maybe in a way he was more trustworthy, that he's being honest, that he's being honest about it, and not just being like, oh, just saying it because he's being nice or whatever. Like that the chemistry between them as opposites is starting to it's starting to mold instead of just being like, you know, going against each other. In my opinion.
And that's what I love about that. It's like, because you know, when he said it's like, I mean, I enjoyed your wife's cooking, he said bullshit, but thanks anyway. But then when he has a kid, it's like, yes, that's when it really opened up and really like, yes, we realized like these two have a understanding with one another. It's like, no, he found something different, and I think Riggs did too, because he's living as a loner, but now he doesn't have to be that. He doesn't have to be that loner, you know. So when you see him the next morning, coming in his bedroom with a cup of coffee, you know, just tell him about, you know, it's like Trish let me in. I was like, this is where you start to see that. I mean, you kind of saw it early in the film, but you really start to see that banter. You'll see them carry through the rest of the series. And it's kind of like, because he said like, oh, would you let me sleep? He's like, no, we got to get up and catch bad guys. You know, it's like, and he's asking him, what was that hooker's name? That was Dixie. Her name was Dixie. And he said, give me that cup. You know, say, now get out of here. You know, that's when you realize, yes, we are seeing a formula where these two, their chemistry is so ingrained. It's like it can't be undone, and I love that. You know.
Yeah, and then before we get to that part, I wanted to say, forgot to mention that Amanda Hunsaker, that Murtaugh knew her. He knew her because of his compatriot his
character.
Vietnam buddy, the what's his face, the guy that that he owns a lot of money, and he's like he's some kind of tycoon or something like that. I don't know what he is, but they get to that part where he starts talking about, okay, well, you know what, your daughter wasn't into this, you know, you got to talk to me, tell me what's going on. But then we go to the part where they talk about Dixie, and then Dixie, what, you know, they were thinking that, okay, Amanda she didn't commit suicide. They pretty much said that she was probably being set up, or she was going to be killed anyway.
She was poisoned. Yeah,
exactly. She was poisoned, and then now we get to that part where we go to the Dixie part where they go to her. They try to go to her house and talk to her. There's kids there, and that's when the freaking, you know, whole house blows up. Now, just I'm trying to remember, did they go? They went to the house afterward, right? They went to the house afterward or before?
Well, they went to the shooting range because they figured like what they was thinking, like, okay, maybe Dixie did some doctoring and did all this, and maybe she was the one who just saying, okay, because, you know, remember when it was on the boat, they were saying, I like neat. I like it when it's neat, and, you know, they're talking, you know, and all this. So when they got to talking, you know, like, okay, Riggs is not going to let this go in terms of like, I don't think this is cut and dry. It's like something's missing. There's a missing part to it. So when they're at the shooting range, they're thinking like, did this actually turn out the way we were supposed to be seeing it that way? So when he said, when they talk about it, they go through the just kind of saying, you know, oh, we just spin doctoring something. It's like, right. She might have been the one who actually did something to Amanda, you know, and even Murtaugh said that's pretty fucking thin, very thin. So they figure like when they go to her house, you know, to question her, it's like, it's probably nothing. As you say, and I didn't expect this to happen. I didn't expect this house to just blow up. It's like boom, you know. It's like fuck, you know. So it was incredible. You know, it's like, and then they say like, it's like thin, yes, very thin. It's like that lets you know it's like that. Her getting blown up.
Right back, guys.
Yeah,
keep going.
Okay, well, basically her house getting blown up meant one thing. It's like, yeah, y'all on the right track, but you don't know where this is leading to, you know. So it's like there's something more bigger on the horizon than they ever imagined, because they think like, okay, this is, you know, it's like it's just what it is. But no, people's houses don't blow up just out of automatically. You know what I mean? It's just like something's going on. I mean, you see how big that was a big explosion.
Yeah. I think they figure out that because obviously when they start investigating the original suicide, or they think suicide, they realize after this house has exploded, they start putting the dots together that this is, it's connected to something much bigger. And obviously as the plot progresses, we discover like, you know, discover that Riggs' ex-friend his daughter, who was the one who the thought committed suicide, was murdered, and it's all connected to like this ex-Green Beret gang who are now selling drugs to street gangs, and one of the dudes is this dude who is high up. He's like the other leader of it all, and then obviously as the plot progresses and we get deeper in, Murtaugh also learns that obviously Gary Busey's character is obviously he's like an ex-Green Beret as well, and they've got like this connection.
It makes you wonder how close Riggs could have come to that guy attempting to recruit him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
it, like,
I'm good. Go ahead.
No, it's just like as it progresses, obviously Riggs and Murtaugh get closer. They might have differences of opinion, but at the end of the day, they both want this. They're both in it to protect people, to uphold the law and all of that. And in a way, because of Murdoch's kind of because of his history with these mental health and losing his wife, him actually going through this case and taking on Gary Busey's character, which we know happens at the end, it's like his release. It's like his therapy.
I had actually on my channel, I kind of did it as a joke, but I talked about that this does have some parallels to A Christmas Carol, in how Riggs would be a stand-in for Scrooge, and my analysis was that you would have the memory of his wife, that would be his ghost of Christmas past because of how he's stuck and bitter because of the past. Murtaugh would be the stand-in for the ghost of Christmas present because Murtaugh is the one that shows him there's still good in this world. I mean, even after the first dinner with Murtaugh's family, that's when he actually does begin to lighten up and just become a happier person. In Gary Busey's character would represent Christmas future because he's there to show Riggs, this is what's going to happen to you if you allow this darkness to swallow you up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, definitely. And as the plot progresses, as you know, because Riggs has that friend who works at the bank, and he goes to the bank and he
That's actually Murtaugh's friend.
Oh well, Murdoch's friend. So
yeah.
He goes and he's like, because there's the photo that he has with them both in it. And he's talking to him. He kind of puts two and two together and goes, "You're deeper in this than you're letting on." And and then he kind of reveals to them that your daughter was killed is like, it's kind of to keep his mouth shut as punishment, because I guess he was going to blow the lid on this operation, where this multi-million-pound operation that's tied to the bank of like this drug laundering business with these ex-soldiers. But I just say, like, he's...
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, his ex-friend is a scumbag, because think about it. His daughter has been murdered because he was going to blow the lid on it.
Yeah.
Because I've got to protect the fact that I've got another daughter, but he's already sacrificed one daughter, and he's kind of getting back into the business, or going to continue it. And then he kind of does get his comeuppance, because Gary Busey's character basically
shoots him,
flies by in a helicopter and blows the hell out of them.
And do you realize that when he confesses this to Murtaugh, that he's actually at his daughter's funeral when this happens, which is like, wow, one funeral and it's about to be another one. That's kind of ironic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you see, but you see how Riggs,
Yeah.
when he sees the shooting, he doesn't hesitate by shooting at the damn helicopter. But it's like, hey, he's in action.
We did get a great performance by Tom Atkins.
Yep.
No, we did. It's like short-lived, but he's gone. But he's irrelevant now. And Murtaugh even says to him, as it says to him, heroin, you got off easy, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
See?
Yes.
So.
Yes.
But to continue, where do we go next? Because even what was what's his case? McAllister, that's his name. The guy that's looking over Busey's character. He said, "I think we got to turn up the heat." And well, he'll be back. Yes, he says he's got to turn up the heat. So they figure like, well, we might have to take out the people who are investigating this, and everything. So Riggs and Murtaugh are out on the streets, pretty much, just wandering and asking some questions about. I think it was it Dixie? I think it was about Dixie because we see Riggs talking to one of the street workers. I don't want to say other words that describe him. So here comes a car, and this is the funny thing. This is why I say I love about this film. It's like everything's done on timing. This car comes out of nowhere and just swings around and shoots, Riggs. This is Joshua. Just blows him away, blows him through this plain glass window, and everything. And I'm just like, damn, just like, what the hell? So shoots him, and Riggs, pretty much got an ID on the guy. He sees him. He saw who shot Hunsaker. He knows who he is. He knows exactly what he looks like. So he identifies him. So why they got this thing cooking, it's like, okay, we're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to get these guys. But changing plans was about to happen. This is where you get a real good twist in this, man, which I love. This is why I say family is always something that is so generated with these kind of films, especially in this film. He gets a call from headquarters saying about there's been a 817 187. I'm sorry,
187. Yeah,
187. That's 2 blocks from where he is,
and he just makes the joke about his daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah, he just says it's so random when he says he's like, yeah, he's probably blonde, got big dimples, and they say, how do you know that? How do you know that, Sergeant? It's like, and it's like, dude, his face is. I love how Danny Glover does this moment. He just like, oh shit! It's like, we gotta go. We gotta go. Oh, and I want to point out one more thing before I go any further. Do y'all ever notice that Danny Glover is always looking at the fucking camera all the time in certain scenes? He's just like, I just had to point that out real quick. Yeah. But
can I also point something else out?
Uh-huh.
How fast is Mel Gibson?
Dude, he is
fast.
Yes.
And he was young, When he was young, he's fucking fast.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like, he fucking was like a whippet in every scene.
But you know what? And this is what's so funny. I noticed this in the first one. When I saw him in the second one, he's really gunning it. And I was thinking to myself, I used to run like that. I cannot run like that no more. My ass is not going to be able to run like he was. I mean, I can't run like that no more. That's just. But yeah, he's like a gazelle, man. He is like, he can push it. He goes blocks in this movie. I mean, I'm like, I don't know if he worked out or not. I mean, I'm pretty sure he did, but he got up in gumption.
I can tell he did because he had the tone, he had the toned arms, chest. They had the freaking 6-pack. He was really slim, but remember that Murtaugh mentioned that. Oh, so you did all that Tai Chi, Jiu-Jitsu kind of stuff. Yeah. He's like, that's what they train you in when you special forces or something like that. So, and that's how they found out it was Joshua because there was Joshua who did Dixie, you know, no pun intended, because he freaking they saw the tattoo of the special forces. I think it was Marine Corps.
On Riggs.
Marine
just
Corps,
that.
yeah, but go ahead.
Never. I was agreeing with Walter.
Yeah, but the thing is, just to add to that, man, he did work out. He did work out.
Yeah.
Go ahead, continue.
Well,
Yeah, go.
well, to end the first film, basically what ends up happening is that Miggs and Riggs they catch up to Joshua, and there's like a full-on, you know, chase in the car.
Yes.
Ends up on the lawn of Murdoch. Sorry, Murdoch's lawn. Yeah, and he basically, you know, he basically lets him know, right, this is your moment. You've got to let all of this out. So he allows Riggs and him to fight it out on the lawn.
Yes.
And they have this epic battle, which obviously Murtaugh kind of beats him up, and basically
Riggs fights him.
And I would like to add, and I would just like to add, Kevin, that just to finish off the fight, Riggs finished Joshua in a triangle choke. It's a jiu-jitsu, it's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu move. Finished him off with a Brazilian jiu-jitsu move called a triangle choke.
What I like is that even though they do shoot him, Riggs makes the conscious choice. All right, I'm not going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he grabs that other cop's gun, that's when they had no choice but to fire back.
But you know what? That's the moment when you realize, I mean, they were already synced up, but both of them shoot him at the same time. And I'm just like...
Also, I love the moment when they find out Rianne's taken and just how, like, personal you see Riggs take it. It's like, you took me into your home to meet your family when you had every reason to keep me miles away. Your family welcomed me with open arms, and it's like, no, this ain't just personal for you. This is personal for me too now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what we're going to do now is, because obviously I don't know if it's the weather, I don't know if what's going on my side, but there's quite a bit of interference, so it's making me struggle to understand the stream. For those watching, if it's affecting the viewership, I'm sorry, nothing I can do. So what we're going to do is, for the rest of the stream, is we're just going to flash through the point, like the best moments of each film.
Okay.
Just you know, it's just so it's going to make it faster and easier for it to like get reviews across. So as you know, because of the success of the first Lethal Weapon film, and for me, epic. It's just one of them buddy cop movies that doesn't ever get old. I love the relationship. I love everything that Richard Donner did with it. It was just a perfect masterclass in great action comedy. But then we moved on to the second movie, which is Lethal Weapon 2. Lethal Weapon 2 for me is another amazing movie, which is just as good as the first one, if not better in many people's eyes. But this film, the second one, this is basically about like these foreign diplomats that decide to come to America who have got immunity and basically decide to abuse that power.
Yes. And realize this film is dealing with, in a way, they're actually known as African diplomats. Yes. But they're when I say drug runners, they're doing it what's the word? Triangle trade. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes. They're doing that.
But Walter, you're black.
You're black. You're black.
Yeah, and from what I understand too, even like the diplomatic immunity thing was a controversy at the time because there were a lot of cases of people with those diplomatic plates parking in fire zones or other zones they shouldn't and couldn't nothing be done about it.
And the rough thing about this film is that I didn't know what diplomatic immunity at the time was.
I'll be back,
I didn't
guys.
know what, yeah. I mean, I was just kind of go this some random, but I realized this was an edge that these two characters, Murtaugh and Riggs, could not really touch. You know, and you realize like, oh, okay.
Well, you see it on a lot of like shows, like maybe like NCIS or whatever, where you know you get these people who have their diplomats for these countries, and so they will go to safe zones, and like even for the U.S. soldiers overseas, we can go to an embassy and have like safeguard, you know, while we're there. So it made it frustrating as a viewer because we're watching these cops who are trying to take these guys down, but they're using this shield of diplomatic immunity to keep everyone at bay.
There shouldn't be diplomatic immunity.
Right. Well, clearly Murtaugh says, yeah, it's been revoked. But I really like this film a lot because of obviously there's a tie-in to Riggs' wife passing 2 years prior, or 4 years prior at this point. My one gripe, and I still stand by it 100%, the lovely Patsy Kensit, who's in this with Rika, should not have fucking died. Fuck you, Donner. Fuck you.
Oh my God. And do you want to know a little side note about that? There was a deleted scene where she actually lived, believe it or not. That's what's so crazy. Yes.
I gotta find that. I have to find that.
She was well, even though she wasn't that much into the movie, but she had that presence and that
whole like sexual banter they had in bed.
Yeah. And then
great.
And then the part like when she's very like, well, of course she loves being in Los Angeles, but she's very open about what she's saying about, especially what's his name, the Aryan leader from the South Africa or whatever, about
Rudd.
Yeah, I know he's freaking. I know there's something grimy about him, but that's my job. I can't just quit right away. Well, you should quit because he's got a lot of shit he's got a lot of skeletons in his closet.
Yeah. But it wasn't that she died that frustrated me as much as the fact that Riggs would have thought bringing her back to her apartment would be a safe place.
Yeah, that was a dumb move.
Yeah,
really.
I think that,
Yeah, I agree. And it's like, I like his story, how he's like trying to move on from his ex-wife, like not his wife, sorry, who's passed away. And he's met somebody, but I also found it was stupid that he's trying to start a relationship with somebody who he knows is connected to the villain of the movie. It's like, he's trying to get with her, knowing that she's like connected to these diplomats. You should.
Well, I think his character thought that, she's kind of small on a totem pole, so maybe the head honcho wouldn't really pay much attention to her. But clearly, head honcho actually had the hots for her too. We saw that pretty obviously.
Yeah. And I like Riggs's character, how he's like, his character's progressing, in his career, and he's close, he's thinking about, retiring and all. He's getting told all this shit. And it's because I always get confused because, like I say, I've been watching these over the last few. Is it the second one? Yes, it is the second one where you've got all the other cops at the station that get wiped out.
Yeah.
And I love the scene where he's sitting at he's sitting in the house with all his family, including Murtaugh, and his daughter's got like this job in an advert on television, and he's dead excited to see his daughter's television debut, and it's for a condom advert.
That's weird.
It's not told all the other officers to tune in.
Yeah, but it's not as funny as when Riggs tells all the officers to tune in, and then the next day he goes to work. He shows up with the flowers, and they have all blown up condoms, the water, like they're blown up. It looks like a sausage. It looks like a sausage freaking pack of flowers, bro. And it's like, and everybody's like, but you see, he can't help it. He can't help it but laugh because he's like, well, fuck, I mean,
it's so much.
can't help but laugh that his daughter, is an ambassador or an actress for a commercial that that's promoting condoms. So it's funny as hell, dude.
And can I ask one question? This is just me. This is just my theory on this. I don't know why, but it seems like this story takes place in like 2 to 3 days, in my opinion, for some reason. And that's
easily.
Well, at least because it almost seems like it's a very short amount of time where it's compressed in some sense.
Yeah. See, but in the Max, and then there's Max the dog, right? Is that his name? There's the dog. His dog Max. Sam. Okay, Sam. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's Sam. Like, and then one of my favorite parts is when they freaking they get crazy and they totally fucking destroy
Riggs.
Riggs,
dude. And I have to add that. That's the funny thing. They do everything else to the other people, but they say fuck the quiet tactics. We're gonna go up there and shoot his ass.
Well, it's an easy target. It's an easy target because it's out in the beach and it's like almost outside right there, just by the harbor, just by shore.
And also, he was the one that had poked the bear the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I find it hilarious how Riggs, he's never been heard of for a day or hours, and he goes running to his house and he's sitting having on the shitter, and he cannot get off, and his legs are weak because there's a bomb underneath the seat.
Riggs just walks in and he's like looking around the corner like
criminal or somebody.
I didn't think that was a real scene when I first heard about it, because I was like, did they really have him on the toilet? And then when I actually saw it in the theater, it's like, damn, he's actually sitting on the toilet.
But the best is when he's like, Riggs, don't tell anybody. Keep it down low. Not a lot of people need to know.
Dude, I love that.
My favorite part with that whole thing was after they saved him, the toilet blew through the roof and landed on his wife's station wagon.
Yeah.
Oh, and we can't forget the lovely Jeanette Goldstein was in this film.
Yes. Vasquez.
And so was Drake, the guy that played Drake in the beginning of the film. He was one of the guys.
Yes.
That was Drake from Aliens. So
that's right.
My favorite part in this one is actually when he opens up and tells Trish about the night his wife died.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Say it again, Anthony.
I said my favorite part in this one is actually the moment when he opens up and tells Trish about the night his wife died.
Yeah.
And you could tell, like, she's like, she really, if it's too painful, she doesn't want him to talk about it. But then he realizes he just needs someone to listen, and she just sits there and listens to it. Right. And when Roger walks back in, he just mentions the gold pen, and he doesn't go back into more details.
Yeah.
I do like how Riggs like fucks with the psychiatrist all the time though too.
I fucking love that.
But she know what? She's a glutton for punishment though, because it's like when they go to Murtaugh's house, you see it's like Goldstein's character says like it's not a pretty sight. What you're gonna say? She said, I've talked to so many guys on the pressure and everything. This is nothing I've never seen. I'm like, woman, if someone's telling you something, you need to listen, just because he's a psychiatrist and all that shit. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Like the one thing I like about that, another thing that's a consistent throughout these movies is they didn't change cast. Like even the supporting roles, it's the same actresses or actors. So it makes it flow so well, and it makes appreciate the movies even more. But this might surprise you, but this out of the 4 films is my least favorite.
Really? Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
What is it, Anthony? Anthony, say it with me. Fucking idiot.
I've got taste.
But wow, okay, that's an insult. Just kidding.
But you don't like Space Godzilla or Rec 3?
Nope.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wow.
Nope.
Well, I gotta say though, with this film, it is pretty much straight action. But the thing about it is, the action doesn't overshadow still the character arc of these characters, which is
no, it's the brilliance of it. Like, there's just a lot of balance. I love that about
Another
this film.
great thing is like it feels like however many time passed from film to film, there's just that much history where even like Riggs, you see him get welcomed into the Murtaugh house as a stranger, and now Trish is doing his laundry. He's just in there helping himself in the kitchen, cooking. He's just an extended member of the family now.
Yeah. It's basically an organic, realistic relationship and balance between characters.
I think that's why it works so well, because that's why I say, because I mean, I'm expecting action, but if you don't have, as I said before, if you don't have these characters, you don't have these interactions, I don't think you're going to like the film much, because it's like you won't care, you won't feel no sense of loss if something happens. Because believe it or not, Shane Black co-wrote the story for this film. He didn't write the screenplay, but in his original screenplay for this, Riggs actually dies in this particular one. He actually dies.
I remember
he didn't like all the dark stuff that Black was bringing. I can understand that, because it's a lot more fun when you can just do the fun and the drama and stuff.
That would have ruined the movie.
Oh yeah. Well, believe it or not, I'm gonna just add this. Believe it or not, the original Lethal Weapon, it actually ended with Riggs and Murtaugh parting their ways and going their separate ways in a sense. It's actually a deleted scene of this, but thankfully that didn't happen.
When you rewatch it, knowing that, you can see where they tacked on that final part with him getting invited, and it was probably just going to be him with the ribbon giving it to Rianne. Here, give your father this, he'll understand. Then he would have gotten in the vehicle and drove off, because it looked like he was getting ready to leave town.
Right.
Yeah.
Thankfully that didn't go to place.
Well, after the success of once again another amazing film, and by the way, can I just say another thing? And I think this is important to say. There's many film franchises where you get one or two good sequels, or what the first one, the second one's always, on par with the first. Then other sequels after that kind of diluted, and they're like, they're never as good as the first or the second one. And as you know, we've covered many sequels on this channel. But the one thing with Lethal Weapon, I don't think there's a single bad film in the whole series, whether one's better than the other.
Kevin, are you saying the Pumpkinhead series isn't great? I don't understand following it.
Well, we'll just leave that one alone for now, shall we? But next up, we have, of course, Lethal Weapon 3, where Joe Pesci returns. And obviously this one is basically continues the antics with these characters, but it's where we find a crooked cop who's now selling, stolen weapons. And for me, the dickhead villain in this is probably one of my favorite villains, because he's just
is it me, or is he like one of the bigger badasses throughout the franchise?
Yeah, other one just strolls into police HQ and he shoots someone and then manages to take the captain hostage.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 100%. And here is our captain, who once again, like I say, there's no cast changes, played by the same amazing actor.
You could just see his blood pressure rising looking at the
Yes.
He was funny though.
Yes.
I liked when he was like, well, we have no more insurance, so we have to make you captain.
Yeah.
I think the third one is like the most consistently funny out of all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, we also are introduced to the lovely Rene Russo.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. And my favorite scene with Murdoch and her is basically where they're comparing bullet shot and wounds.
Yes,
battle
bullet.
wounds.
Yes, yes.
Scars. Yeah, they
Battle
start
scars.
Yeah.
comparing scars, bullet scars, and
That's like a scene out of Jaws. Quint. Fucking
In a way, yeah.
Hooper.
That's
Yeah,
kind of true.
yeah,
See,
she's
yeah, I absolutely love that scene, and like you say, it's another realistic, organic thing that would happen where, you know, his character lost his wife. He then tried to move on. She also perished sadly, and he's got his guard up. But now he's met a woman who is exactly like him. They are absolutely meant to connect and be together. And it feels like he's finally letting that guard down because he's met somebody who is truly on his level.
Yeah.
And doesn't
And
it
then-
seem like this particular outing of Lethal Weapon, it like the previous two, you can feel their 80s, you know, pretty much 80s stamped. This one feels 90s ingrained. You can kind of feel that. I don't know if y'all can tell. I can
Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course you've got then Murtaugh, who's basically like, I'm too old for this shit, and he's like, 10 weeks away from retiring, and the
10
film
days.
starts
Like that.
10
days.
days.
Yeah.
And then he's like, the film starts off with a bang where, you know,
Big.
Riggs is like, let's just go into this building. There's supposed to be a bomb there. Oh, he's like, there's no bomb. Like, we'll just go check it out. Don't be worried. Then they get in the building. He's like, oh shit, I better go with him. He goes in and he goes, oh fuck, there is a bomb.
At
Roger
least they
grabs
saved
the
the cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roger
Yeah.
grabbed the cat. He's like, cut the blue one or the blue one or the red one? No, the red one. No, the blue one. The red one. No, the blue one. And he cuts it. He's like, Roger, get the cat. And they go out and they look so like fuck, like we're fucked. Like when the building goes down, they're fucked.
What I love too is Murtaugh, like he's actually holding the cat's paw when he like waves.
Yeah.
Fun fact, that was actually where they filmed that scene. That building was set to be demolished.
Yeah.
So they filmed the shots, then they filmed the actual demolition as it was happening.
Mm-hmm. And they
Yeah,
shot it in
that-
like 2 or 3 nights, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it all worked. It all worked amazingly.
And
Like-
it's a nice payoff in the mid-credit scene.
Yes.
And then Riggs always has to have the iconic mullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was the last
Yeah.
time he would wear that mullet for this series.
Yes.
unfortunately.
Yes. So for me, the one thing I think about this one is it's got some of the better action out of all the films. Like they really up that action in this movie.
Yeah.
And
I
they're
don't know-
also
Go
they're
ahead.
also on top of up in the action in this one. I also find what they did really well is where everything's kind of been towards Riggs in terms of his backstory and his story arc of being this widower who, he's going through all this trauma, suicidal thoughts, then he meets somebody else, loses her, he kind of goes back in a dark place. This one, things are picking up for him. But it's the opposite. It's Murtaugh who's now going through like this midlife crisis because he's close to retiring. He hasn't got much going when he does retire. There's nothing really there set in stone for plans of his retirement. And then on top of that, he sees his son talking to like this gang and he's worried about him. And then later on throughout the course of the movie, he sees one of his friends get gunned down.
Well, he actually shot.
It's
He
just-
shot.
Yeah, he
He
actually
shot the guy.
Oh, yeah. He shoots him, but and it's his friend,
Wow.
his son's friend, and he's like absolutely torn up inside. And then you have
Yeah, it's
that
funny
great
too
moment.
because his son actually handled it a lot better than Dad did.
This
Which,
is
obviously, when you take a life, it's never a good thing. But the fact that the son understood the dynamic, he's like, yeah, Daryl's my friend, but he was into bad shit. Like, I just knew that was going to happen. Like,
This was one of the cases with this film where it's why I prefer the director's cuts, because you have the scene in Riggs just shows up at the boat and finds Murtaugh drunk, where in the director's cut, you get a scene where Renee shows up at his trailer and she's like, Dad didn't come home last night. And that's what puts to him looking for him and leads to him going to the boat.
That's actually a good scene. I wish they would have kept that in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's also, if you go back to the first movie where it's Murtaugh trying to talk to Rig and get into his head and understand when he's talking about feeling suicidal, and he's got the gun in his hands and he's like, pull the trigger, and he's like, no, he's trying to have that moment with him. He now does that with him on the boat. Mm-hmm. And they end up, having that big heart-to-heart, and one falls into, they both fall into the water.
I like that he throws the bottle of whiskey out in the water, and then he goes, "Oh, I got another one. I'm gonna go get
it." he goes, he's like, "Well, you see, I got a problem too. I think I slept with someone I shouldn't have," and he reacts.
Oh yeah,
yes. Him in the face. And then he mentions Renee Russo's character. She's like, "In traffic? No, that's her uncle. I'm talking about the one from IA."
Yeah.
Yeah. He keeps thinking of his daughter. It was like because she had such a crush on him.
Yeah. Then
another thing I like bringing her character up is just how organically they introduced to know the new characters. In 2, Joe Pesci's in Witness Protection. They have to watch him. And in this one, we have a former crooked cop that's the villain in Renee Russo's character's Eternal Affairs. So she just happens to be investigating it at the same time. The new characters never really feel forced into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that like I say, that's the great thing about Richard Donner's direction. And obviously they had great storytellers that could create characters that would organically fit into this already built world. Unlike today's films where everything seems fucking forced. Like, they'll bring a fucking character into the movie, and like say somebody dies, they'll bring in another character and they force it to be the new love interest instead of making it come across like it's an organic fit that it should naturally would happen and occur. And that's what I love about. That's why classic movies from the 80s, 90s, or even further back are the ones that still resonate with me today, because a lot of this modern stuff is forced upon you and it's hollow as hell. There's no real emotion. There's only odd films that have that connection. Like when it comes to Marvel movies, for example, the last movie that I had an emotional connection with in the MCU after Endgame was Guardians 3. And that's simply because, obviously, I'm an animal lover. We're all animal lovers, yeah. And it was about animal cruelty, and it had Rocket's backstory, and it was also the performances by, that were in that movie, Chris Pratt. And, that's probably the last one in MCU that I had that connection with. That's why I love these movies.
But I wanted to add also, Kevin, to what Kevin was saying about Murtaugh having his midlife crisis, or him not understanding or knowing what he's gonna do after when he does retire. What is he gonna have there? Odie.
Okay, well he agrees with you.
He agrees with it, and he's saying, listen, he's talked about animals. Don't talk about animals anymore. I don't like animal cruelty. He agrees with this.
But quick side note about this film is that the cinematographer for this film was Jan de Bont, who surprisingly would go on to make certain films himself. And the first one he did on the outing was, of course, Speed, which I got to say was probably his footnote from this to doing that, because that film, well, we already know this side note on that film. So, but anyway, yeah, he shot this film, and I think he did a good job with filming it the way it was, because I don't know if you ever noticed, there's some good one takes in when they're doing certain scenes in this film. I mean, there's one with when we see the ex-cop when they're traveling, and then there's another one where we see the captain, which I have to say too, the captain is he's organically in this film a lot more than in previous films. Yeah. He's really in here much more, which I like, because I think he adds to the story, which is a great thing, But
this one really did have the best camera work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
I
I
was
was.
gonna say,
And, and
real quick, just that what Kevin was saying about the what Murtaugh and Riggs were talking about. I love the fact that when Riggs said because what happens to you happens to me. Your
Yeah.
family became my family. Your family
Yeah.
took me in with open arms, and your daughters became my daughters. So what's gonna happen? You know, when you're gone, it's like, what are you gonna do? What am I gonna do without you? Like he's saying,
he's like, you're not just retiring; it's us that's retiring.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
That's
I actually got emotional when that was said, because it's
Yeah.
like, I remember obviously working where I work, we have become like a mini family. So when one does retire, you feel it, because you feel like a part of that family's missing, and that's at
Mhm.
work. So imagine everything that Riggs has been through to lose, to lose his partner. It's like losing a big part of his life. But
Because he says you're the only family I got, so I can't lose you. You know, so it's like, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, well, before we go and move on to the fourth one, there's one more star in this one that we need to talk about who stole the show, and that's Dolores.
Yeah.
Dolores, Dolores was a big
Yeah.
part. She definitely
Yes,
was.
she was a very big part of this. I had to agree with that. She was.
I think
Yes.
Myrtle was more scared of her than he was any of the villains they went against.
Yeah.
I think he would rather run into a building that's about to detonate than get in that truck with Dolores.
Because you saw how she was like saying, "Are you married?" She was like, "Yes, 24 years, 24 years." And she said, "But is it working?"
Yeah, exactly. And then he goes down. He's like, "Oh wait, no, not right now. Not on the first date." I was like, "What?" It was like when he's heard the thing. He's going down.
She
Oh,
showed
no,
up at the
not on
department.
first date. Yeah.
She shows up and he's like hiding behind the counter, and she's like, "Where's Mr. Detective Murtaugh?" He's like, "Right here," and she didn't believe him.
Like he's cowering behind the desk here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was hilarious, man. Right at the beginning.
Dude, Riggs was always fucking with Murtaugh, dude. The whole like the pictures and everything else, like when he's doing the chicken dance.
Yeah.
You guys gotta stop doing this shit. We can't have this stuff out, and he keeps taping it back up.
Was it back up there?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Yes.
The man has feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the gang is all here.
Yep.
Gang is
So
all
weapon So this one obviously introduced us to Mr. Jet Li,
Yes.
who literally I thought was fantastic in this. Like,
oh, he's brilliant.
He did a good job. I mean, I'm thinking this was his first outing in an American produced film. I'm believing, but I could be wrong. But after seeing him in this, I was like, wow, this dude's got some epic staying power in the American film industry.
So you got to give it up for Butters, man. Butters.
Yes, Mr. Butters. Butterhead, you know.
Biscuits. What's up, Biscuits?
I didn't think.
So,
I like Chris Rock, but I don't think he was. I don't know. Four is one of my least. Is probably the least, but it's not a bad film. But I just didn't think they needed Chris Rock. But I would understand because everybody was kind of like, okay, we got Joe Pesci as comic relief. Now let's bring in Chris Rock.
Well, that's kind of how it is. Like, they have to one up each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But he just wasn't. I mean, he was okay. It just, I was like, man, do they really need it? And then the whole part with the freaking laughing gas and shit. I was like, oh man.
I know that. Yeah.
I was like,
my baby's gonna have your baby.
They could have trimmed
that. Gonna have your baby.
Yeah. I like one of my favorite moments is after because. Lana's pregnant and so is Renee, and like they don't know who the father is, and then he finally realizes Lana knows, and she's like, "It's Butters," and he's like, "Don't tell Rig, don't tell Murtaugh, don't tell him." And when he gets to the house, he's like, "So we don't want to double up. Has Renee thought of any names for the baby?" And she brings to it. He goes, "I like Lee Butter."
Yeah.
And the mama and the daughter just looking at each other. It's like, does he know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, like the plot of this one was brilliant as well. How it's about like these Chinese triads that are trying
Human
to release,
trafficking.
human trafficking and trying to free the leader from prison and on American soil. And like you say, Jet Li was brilliant. I think the great thing, like we'll keep mentioning, is how it's not one of them that tries to force things down your throat. For example, Danny Glover is older. Mel Gibson is older. They know they're older. They're slower. They know they can't go as fast as they used to, and they use the humor in it to work around that. The fact it's fact that they are older, so the jokes and everything, and introducing Chris, Rock's character in this, it felt organic as well.
Yeah.
Like he's a younger police officer, and it makes
They
sense.
actually make a pretty good reference to it with the captain because he's like, yeah, these younger guys are coming in and they're out of the academy, but they also have psych, degrees. So like they're diversifying themselves, diversifying, the way they are as policemen.
And I didn't
Also,
think, like I said, I didn't think it wasn't. It's like I said, it's not a bad film. The inclusion of Chris Rock wasn't, it wasn't a bad thing. It just, like, for me, it just something that it didn't get me. It didn't get to me that much, but I know that it wasn't, like Kevin said, it wasn't something that ruined the film. It actually played in well with the film.
Also, like at the one point, because Chris Rock's always sucking up to Danny Glover, and he's like, "Hey, you don't think he likes me, do you?" He goes, "Well, it's a different time. The millennium's creeping up on us, and this isn't the military."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you not think as well, when they introduced Chris Rock character, because they knew them were getting older, it was potentially to set up a spin-off?
Yeah,
Could have, Rock was pretty.
leave the door open for a potential spin-off.
Yeah, I don't think that they were really going to do it, but I think they were just going to say, "Hey, our guys are getting old. We got to cut it out here now. They're done."
But Rock
But
is.
they've been talking about doing another one, so who knows how they're going to approach that.
So at
But
this
Rock
point,
was-
it would have to be Riggs's kid and Murtaugh's grandkid as partners.
Right.
And Rock was hot at the time. Like it was what year was it? It was
98.
Yeah. Like Rock was he was hot at that time. So bringing him in also added more, brought in more viewership back in 98. So I mean, it makes sense. I'm surprised they didn't go with any kind of sequel, but I mean, there's still so many good parts of the film, especially the fight scenes with Jet Li, and the fact that he was also an assassin that would also kill people that were either not doing. He would kill his own, like, what do you call it, triad members when they fucked up.
Yeah, like that in this one, it's Riggs dealing with getting older.
Yes. And
I like that.
How fucking fast was Jet Li, dude? Like, I still can't get over it.
Look,
he actually had to slow his movements down because
I was going to say they had to slow
couldn't catch them.
I love at the end, they're like, right after the confrontation, is like, yeah, maybe we should just not come. We'll come back later because,
he's like, he's so far my gun, man.
I gotta ask him
that. How did he do that?
Yeah.
No, I think we should come. Yeah, your son-in-law's there bleeding. We should probably get him to a doctor.
I don't blame, man. Like, everything that happens, like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna let this one go.
Yes.
And then the iconic mullet is gone. So that also you would think it would have sped up Mel Gibson for how freaking long that shit was, but actually he was still slow in this one. As far as remember in the beginning he was getting his ass kicked in sparring, and he said, "Oh, I'm good. I'm just gonna take a break." And then he actually opens up to Raj and he says, Raj says, "You're getting too old for this shit." Yeah.
It's right. When we were all younger, that line used to be hilarious. Now Who doesn't find themselves saying that at some points?
I say it every fucking
I'm
day.
saying that every day, just about.
I would talk.
Yeah.
I would talk about that to Walter all the time when I was in denial that I wasn't getting older. Remember, Walt?
Oh no! Look when you said it, I was kind of like, well, he probably not going to say it for a few years, and then when it hit you, it's like, I told you so.
I liked when Leo, because he's a private investigator now, and he was tailing him, and he's like, I was like, who's the perp? Because Butters is in the back seat. He's like, perp.
See this badge? Check out the gun.
Done. Dude.
And then they start getting
So-
on that banter and rant about the phones and shit. Like, oh
But
my
then
god.
the scene with the other cop, he pulls over and they're like, we don't know this guy. We think he might have been drinking. Then he's like, come on, I can smell it on you already. Then when we see him at the station, all right, very funny, guys. That cop even tried to strip search me. Well, did you get his number?
Yeah.
So here's a question.
Mhm.
Did any of us check out the television reboot?
I did not.
Nope.
I don't think I did. No.
I heard the first season was great, but then I think whoever was in the lead decided to leave after the first season,
Okay.
or was it the
Mhm.
second season? And
Second season.
it just changed. It lasted 3 seasons.
Oh wow.
That's the one with Marlon Wayans. Was that the one, Marlon Wayans or Damon
yes.
Wayans?
Damon
Yes,
Wayans,
yes.
I think. I think it's
I'm gonna say
Damon.
Damon Wayans,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, and apparently, the first season was apparently amazing. I haven't seen it, but apparently it was really well. And then I think whoever was the lead actor in the first one, he was either recast or he left the show for whatever reason. So I wasn't sure if any of you guys had seen it.
No,
I haven't
both.
seen it, but my mom's sister loved it.
Oh,
I had
cool.
no real intention of watching it, to be honest with you, because it's
Yeah,
kind
me
of
too.
hard to take something from film and put it into television, even though something like MASH or some other films have done it very well. I don't know if that would have panned out, but I mean,
Oh, how about Dukes of Hazzard?
Also, keep in mind with
Mhm.
MASH, like, yeah, it translated better into a show, but there was also the benefit of those actors in those roles weren't as iconic. Where with this, it had been for more than 20 years that people have accepted Mel Gibson and Danny Glover as Riggs and Murtaugh. So to bring it back new, that alone is a hard sell that we want you to accept these new actors as these characters.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I think it's time. This is going to be the tough part, or will it be? I want you to put an order from, 1 to 4, which is your favourite, and your final thought on this entire amazing series of films. So we'll start off, I guess. We'll start with Mr. Anthony Jordan.
Okay. At last place, I have to put the 4th film. Hold on. Come back. The last place I would have to put the 4th film, and then 2, 3, and 4. It's so close. 2, 3, and 1. It's so close, but it could be. It's just hard to rank them. So I would go 1, 2, then 4, 1, 2, 3. From least favorite to favorite, but I would say even though 4 is my least favorite, I thought the way it ended was not just a great set off for the characters, just with that line, "we're family," but then you get the end credits with just all the behind the scenes photos from the other movies, and it's just like a big farewell from the franchise. So even the weakest film in this is still a great time.
Yes. Like I said, I don't think there's one bad film, even if some are not as good as others. There's not one bad film in the series.
No.
Sci-fi Century.
I think the basic order. I think the basic order of the films, the actual numerical order. It's my least favorite is 4, and then third is 3, 2, and then second favorite is 2, and then first one is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually goes into numerical order, from my least
Yeah.
to my least favorite to my favorite.
Yeah. Jedi Granville.
Well, with me, it's a little bit different than Anthony's in sci-fi's. Number 4 is still the least favorite. I mean, it's as we said, it's not bad. It's just that it's not as good as the other 3, but it's at 4, and right above that is, believe it or not, number 1. I mean, not to say that number 1 is not a good film, because I do like number 1. It is a good film, but the other 2, which is number 3, which is at number 2, is a little bit better than number 1, and the number 1 is number 2. If you can understand that, basically, number 1 is number 2 is number 3, number 3 is number 1, and number 4 is number 4. That's kind of a weird combination there, but that's
confused, but it's okay.
Mr. DJ Anubis.
I love this. Everybody's all over the map. I like this. And I'm not going to change.
I knew this was going to be
in the 4th position. We have Lethal Weapon 3 with a 9 out of 10. At number 3, the original Lethal Weapon at a 10 out of 10. At number 2, Lethal Weapon 4 at 10 out of 10. And at number 1, Lethal Weapon 2, again, another 10 out of 10.
He's like, you bastard.
Oh, but there is one that's tied for one. That's Rec 3. Just had to throw that in there.
And Space Godzilla.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. It's my turn, bitch.
So now that we're done, let's all cut Kevin out. Let's go.
So please proceed, Mr. Kevin Lambert.
Mm-hmm. So at number 4, it has to be number 4. Mm-hmm. At number 3, it has to be number 2. At number 2, it has to be number 1. And at number 1, it's got to be number 3.
Wow. Okay.
That's my order. And I'm going to say this. Lethal Weapon is one of those film series that I think need to be studied. Because Richard Donner is perfection in this. He is the perfect director who found balance in comedy, action, seriousness, and drama. And he was a great... Whoever worked with him is a writer like Shane Black. The characters he created, and the fact that he followed each film from story to story and kept it flowing organically, believably, and told their story arc from the first film to the last in such a realistic, organic way has made these films what they are today. And I don't think there's a comedy series, action comedy series out there, in my opinion, that can beat Lethal Weapon.
No. I agree.
Yes, it's one of those molds that's already been broken over and over, and it's not going to be recreated.
Well, none of the other ones have quite the heart that these films have. I mean, the theme from the first film,
to be fair, the Die Hard series up until Live Free, Die Hard was fine. But they kept trying to go on beyond that, and it didn't work. So, really, Die Hard's the next closest to doing really good films like this.
Even the Die Hard, it didn't have the same heart as these films, where the theme from the first to the last movie is family.
Yep,
I was just gonna say this, Kevin, real quick. Another 48 Hours. It was decent. Beverly Hills Cop was decent. I forget the other ones. Even
Bad Boys for me. Bad Boys 1 and 2 are the best, and the next 2 are okay, but they just don't continue, the heart the way these did.
The next Boy
Mr.
Scout.
DJ Anubis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the next Boy Scout.
Yeah.
Mr. DJ Anubis, what's coming up on the Metal Tavern Radio?
Nothing set in stone yet. Later tonight, I'll be joining Alvin for So Screen Savants. We're going to be reviewing Jeepers Creepers from 2001, which is his pick this week. Next week, for at least Ghouls of Midnight for my pick, we got to do a pre-screen of a movie called Traumatica. So we're going to be reviewing that as my pick, and then Tony's got his, which I can't remember right offhand, but I'll be updating my calendar tomorrow probably. It's what I've got coming up.
Yeah. Sci-Fi Century.
So far, I've got 2 things lined up, but they're gonna be towards the end of the month. And you guys know me; I'm so random. I try not to be as random anymore. And I got a new Chromebook, which is gonna be much easier, and it runs really smooth. But I want to get this out of the, this stream out of the way, and that's the what do you call it? Video gaming past and present retrospective. And I want to get, like I said, I want to get Anthony and Anubis on that one, and then John wants to be on that one. Gojira wants to be on that one, and that one probably towards the end of this month. And then the Bear, if I don't get the Bear done by this month, it'll probably be early September, because I want to do that one before I run the one with Kevin, which will be doing the Akira Kurosawa. What do you call it? I think that's we'll be doing the retro one with Akira Kurosawa with Kevin on the Entertainment Headquarters. And then so far, that's all. That's the only ones I got lined up right now, and just some more video gaming content now that I got the new laptop. I'll be running a lot of more Xbox Series X games. So
yeah,
so far that's all I got. But I'll keep everyone updated for the end of the month for those 2.
Yeah, Anthony Jordan.
Well, I'm continuing my Quarry playthrough. I have my Gundam Wing retrospective, and I've started on Montober, and so far I've reviewed it, Psycho and Psycho 2, and now I got to jump into Psycho 3.
Oh, very good. Mr. Jedi Granville.
Well, as y'all all know, I'm not really doing too much this month, but I will be. But I actually have something coming up, something spontaneous that I came up with, which was my theory on what will go down with the newest Godzilla X Kong film, and that'll probably be coming up beginning of this next week, where I kind of theorize what might happen, because everyone's got their own theories, but I'm just going to put my personal touch on that with that. And as far as that goes, that's probably going to be the only thing this month. And for next month, hopefully I get back on track, because like I said, I've been busy this month. Hopefully I get back on track with doing a lot of stuff like dealing with movies, and my first one hopefully will be you and Mr. Professor talking about a collaboration, talking about The Day After and Threads, which is kind of talking about.
I've finally seen it, Mr. Ross.
Okay, well that's good. Well, then I gotta get the time set up.
I just need to give you my schedule when I'm free.
Schedule and everything. Just let me know, and hopefully me and Mr. Professor and anyone else can join up. But I'm going to do a retrospective on Chronos at the end of next month, because I want to talk about that, because that film I don't think gets enough love in terms of, because it's believe it or not, it is a kaiju type film, but it's a very unique kaiju type film. It's one of those B-50s movies, and it's so out there, but I think it deserves to be looked at and everything. But other than that, I mean, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I got coming up, and I want to kind of keep it on the back burner until I get there. So yeah.
Can I just say also, if anybody, when I do the Bear, if anybody wants to jump on that one, just let me know. I know Anthony said he wants to watch that one. Anubis, Kevin, Walter, let me know if you want to get on that one when I plan it out. Usually it'll be 5 days. Usually it'll be 5 days. Usually within 5 days, so that way I give everybody enough time. But because I'm not good at the schedule. But yeah, so far, yeah.
We've noticed. But anyway, as for me and the entertainment headquarters, I've got 2 bits of kaiju content coming to you next week.
Yes.
First and foremost, coming on Sunday night, I'm going to be doing a recording called Godzilla Jr., and it's going to be about basically that bad boy deserves his own film or television show or animated series. So I'm going to be talking about that and giving my perspective on that. And next Saturday, we are going to be returning and doing another live for the next Kaiju Connections classic movie review, and it's going to be the Damaging trilogy. So look forward to that. And of course, there's lots of stuff I've got planned in September and October. So just keep an eye out for all of that great stuff. But as always, gentlemen, this has been nothing but amazing. Thank you for being my guests. Thank you for talking about Lethal Weapon. Thank you for joining us, everybody who was here for the Retro Classic Movie Show. And we'll catch us all at the next one. Keep enjoying your movies. Keep enjoying all things entertainment. Over and out. There we go.